Officials are testing for asbestos after a massive St. Louis warehouse fire took fire crews more than a day to put out. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacob Caviani.
And I'm Amber Seib. This is video from Wednesday. It took nearly 100 firefighters to battle the blaze. The Park Warehouse Service building was fully engulfed and some of the building collapsed. Environmental Protection Agency personnel gathered samples of the debris. An on-scene coordinator says test results won't be available until Monday. For now, they're advising nearby residents not to touch the debris until further notice.
Here in mid-Missouri, a 19-year-old says he was lucky that a man driving a Cintas fire truck was behind him and his family when their tire caught fire. It happened earlier this afternoon on Highway 63 near Old Millers Road in Boone County. Stephen Yates and his parents were on their way home to Kingston from Missouri Science and Technology in Rolla when they noticed the smoke. He says a man with 50 to 60 extinguishers in his car happened to be driving behind them.
He just happened to be right behind us. He was off duty and was getting his tire fixed when he happened to be behind us, and his truck is just full of fire extinguishers.
And I saw this car smoking, and I just pulled up behind it, and they were jumping out of the car, and it wouldn't be right if I stopped or if I didn't stop, so I jumped out and just used my fire extinguishers to help put out the fire.
There were no reported injuries. A tow truck towed that car away, and it is unclear what caused that fire. And a single car crash killed two Osage Beach residents late last night. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says a woman was driving her vehicle on Route KK when she crossed the center line, fell into an embankment, and hit a tree. Authorities say she died at the hospital while her passenger died at the scene of the crash. The patrol says this is the first fatal accident for Troop F this month. Troop F reported 50 traffic deaths in 2017.
You could have a say on how the state of Missouri spends $41 million. The state is looking for input on how to spend the cash. Missouri got the money after Volkswagen violated federal clean air laws by equipping diesel vehicles with devices to cheat emissions tests. Now the Missouri Department of Natural Resources is holding public hearings across the state to gather input from residents. There's an upcoming hearing in Jefferson City on December 7th. A nonprofit group in St. Louis says the operation on a new trolley won't begin operation until it gets $500,000. The Loop Trolley Company notified officials that it must have the money in order to cover startup costs and operating deficits. Several public officials, including the St. Louis mayor, expressed reservations about providing more funding. The $51 million trolley was originally supposed to start running back in 2016.
The Columbia Regional Airport will reopen one of its runways on Monday. Here's a live look over the airport right now. There will be a ribbon-cutting ceremony to reopen runway 1331. The city says this new runway will improve safety for pilots. The old runway was used for light general aviation aircrafts, but the new runway, it's capable of handling modern commercial jets. Now, as we talk about the weather, cool and breezy today, even this morning. A little rainy when I was heading out the door here to work.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's check in with Matt Beckwith for the latest.
And you all mentioned that it was breezy. It certainly was. Our highest wind gusts today recorded at the airport, 41 miles per hour. So it certainly was a hold on to your hat kind of day. Those winds still breezy, just not as much. Temperatures cool as well. 40 in Columbia, 43 in Jefferson City. We've seen those temperatures gradually fall throughout the day, and that's going to be a trend that continues throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures feels like temperatures rather 30 degrees in Columbia, and that's about where we're going to be in terms of our actual air temperatures. You're waking up tomorrow morning feeling like 26 in Macon, 28 in Moberly, and 38 down at the Lake of the Ozarks. As I mentioned, we still have those strong breezes out of the northwest, about 16 miles per hour in Columbia, 14 miles per hour in Jefferson City, and 16 miles per hour in Fulton. Looking ahead to our forecast over the next few days, tomorrow we're a lot warmer, 47 degrees, a lot more sunshine. We get even warmer on Monday. We'll talk more about that coming up in my full forecast a little bit later in the show.
Today is National Adoption Day, and there are thousands of kids right here in mid-Missouri who are hoping to one day be adopted. But in the meantime, many are placed in homes like Coyote Hill, a foster home. KOMU8's Maya McDonald has the story of how one Missouri mother's experience of adopting a child pushed her to make a difference.